Hello, welcome to Don't Whistle at Night. We're broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. I'm your host, Don Yazzie. I'll be bringing on my host, the one and only Darren Yazzie. Today we have a really cool guest today. She's Navajo from the southern part of the Navajo Nation, and she has a lot of eyewitness, she's seen a lot of things, she can share a lot of stories and another good treat for you guys today. So please, I see a lot of our listeners aren't subscribed and a lot of you guys don't really like, but please do us a favor, like and subscribe. And here is my co-host, Darren Yazzie.
Hey, what's
So
going on, guys?
Darren, and
People.
here is our guest of honor, Miss Vanessa Pierson. What's up?
Hi, what's going
Hey,
on? Hi, Vanessa.
Yeah.
what's going on,
Here,
Vanessa?
guys. How's everything going?
Oh, not too
Um,
bad.
so I'm going to talk about paranormal activities. I'm from Winslow, Arizona, and that's pretty much where I'm going to be talking about today. And I'm going to start off with when I was 5 years old, you guys, we moved into these apartments. And from there, it was pretty much low income apartments, you guys. So when we moved in, we already started having bad experiences from the beginning. The first experience would be opening the doors, opening the windows. It would even be the refrigerators. Everything would be open, even the counters, the like everything in the kitchen.
Poltergeist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything was
Hmm.
open. And my mom always assumed that it was me and my brother because it was just me and him with her. And she always assumed that it was just me and him. My brother was 7 years old, so I was only 5. And we started noticing that. So she started, thinking it was us. So she started putting sticks against the door, like trying to double lock the doors, trying to keep everything closed. But the cabinets, everything would always be open every morning. Everything would be open and the doors would be open, windows. Nothing stopped whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Wow, that kind of sounds annoying. Wake up every day and close all the cabinets and
Yeah, and
wow,
that
that
was only the
sucks.
first experience.
uh,
And that was daytime when all this would happen. So when everything was happening like that, the next day, my mom was like, she just kind of like left it alone because she said that she would just assume it was us, like, because we're kids. And the next day would come, and this was every night, you guys, in the middle of the night, we would have like me and my brother would wake up to noises coming from the kitchen. And it would be like, it started off with growling noise.
Oh man, that's not good.
And then it
right.
started off with like laughing, kids laughing. And
Mm.
then
Hmm.
I heard mimicking, of like my mom. So
Oh.
somebody was trying to voice my mom and trying to get us
Hmm.
to come in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And all the lights would be off, you guys. The only light that we had in our house was my brother, like the restroom that was right across from my brother's room. So that apartment only had 3 rooms, you guys, besides the restroom.
Hmm.
And there was this long hallway, leading to the kitchen, the living room and the kitchen. And I never, like, I was a light sleeper, you guys. So I would see, like, I would be up, you know what I mean? I look at my clock right next to me and I would see what time it was. It was always midnight, you guys. It was always
Hmm.
midnight. Just anything would happen. And like I said, it started off with growling noise. So I heard the growling noise and I was like, I ran to my brother's room. My brother was next door to my room. So I ran to my brother's room and I was trying to wake him up because my brother's a deep sleeper, you guys.
Oh
And
yeah.
Hmm.
my mom, she was a deep sleeper also. Like, it was just kind of weird because, like, I ran to my brother's room. I would just sleep with my brother, because I was so scared.
Hmm.
And then um, next thing you know, all you would hear is like shadows. You can see shadows passing his door. And I
Yeah.
would just put the
Hmm.
covers on, you know what I mean? And like I said, every day it got worse. the next following day happened. We tried explaining to my mom what was going on, and she's like, "No, you guys are doing it. You guys need to stop watching scary movies. You know, like just what a
Typical.
mother would say."
What
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we
typical
all say.
parents. Yeah.
Yeah, quit watching scary movies, this and that. Yeah.
Mm.
yeah, but it wasn't. It's like, so the next day happened, and we used to keep that light on all the times because it would shine toward my brother's room.
Hmm.
So I was like, my mom's room was next to the restroom, like across from us. So she always left her door open. And it was weird because one night her door was closed. And I was like, okay, I heard noises again, you guys, coming from the hallway. And I was like, and it was growling, but you can hear the echoing, you know what I mean? Like coming toward my room. And I just got so scared. I ran to my brother's room. And all I remembered seeing was when I looked in the hall, like looked at my brother's door, you see, like those white sheets you put over your bed.
Yeah.
That was over it, and it had like 3 humps, like a camel
What?
on it. And
Huh.
I looked like kind of like off the bed, to see if it had if it was like people, you know what I mean? It looked like 3 people were standing underneath the sheet, and I was like,
Is it
okay.
like
So I
full
was like,
grown?
okay. So I looked over to see what it was, and it didn't have no feet, you guys. It was floating
Oh man.
there. I freaked out. I just laid by my brother. My brother was like, just go to sleep. He's like, just go to sleep. Don't. He's like, don't be afraid. Just go to sleep. Don't just go to sleep.
Ooh-wee.
So
Oh.
I was like, I couldn't sleep, after seeing stuff like that. And it just floated by, and it just went to my mom's room. My mom's door was closed, by the way. So I don't know how it went in there, but I yelled out for my mom. I screamed. And then she came out with her boyfriend at the time. And she came out, and then she's like, I ran to her room, you know what I mean? Because she turned on her light. So I ran to her room. I seen that sheet on the floor on her at the end of her bed. And I was like, she's all, and then her boyfriend's like, oh, it was me. I was like, it's not. I was trying to get my words out to him because I'm a little girl. I was scared. I was traumatized. And I was like, it was not you. I told him, I was like, that thing didn't even have feet. It didn't have no feet. And then I was like, and there was like 3 people, you know what I mean, underneath that sheet. It had to be people. But they just, kind of brushed it away again. And then the next night came. I was trying to stay up, you guys, because I was so traumatized, you know what I mean? Seeing all that, I didn't want to sleep at night. I was scared of nighttime. And
Oh yeah. I do too.
And I came up, I woke up again at the same time again, you guys. I think it was around 3:30, 3:15. It was 3:15. And I was like, okay. I woke up again, and I heard noises. It was laughter. And then I seen the kitchen light on, though. And because I looked down the hallway, and I was like, I peeked my head out, and I was like, I seen the kitchen light on. I was like, okay. I was like, maybe my mom's in there, And then I heard laughing. And then I was getting closer, and then it's the voice switched. It started coming to like demon, like the voice started turning like demon.
Yeah.
And I turned around, I ran back to my brother's room. This time, you guys, I was shaking my brother, trying to wake him up, and finally he woke up. All I see was me and my brother looking at his door. And remember, I tell you guys that we have a light in the restroom across from him, so it shines to my brother's door. So when we looked at the door, we seen this hairy figure, like hairy, and it kind of reminded me of a beaver. Yeah. And it was short, you guys. It was like short.
Did you see his face?
I couldn't see no face, you guys.
Faced away from you?
It was all dark.
Oh man.
All
okay.
Dark in front of it. So, and then you guys, I could just see the outline of what it was. You know what I mean? And its claws was like up like that, like
claws.
You guys can see. But claws was like that, and it had long fingernails. Yeah. Long fingernails. And I was like, and it was walking like a penguin, you guys.
What? That's crazy.
Toward us. It was walking fast too. It wasn't like no slow motion. That thing walked fast toward us, where me and my brother jumped up, you know what I mean, on the bed. Like, we were already on the bed, but we kind of scooted up. I was trying to move my legs because I was closer to the whatever it was. I was trying to move my legs more up because it was straight out, you know. So I was trying to pull my legs up, and it grabbed my leg. It
Oh,
grabbed one of
snap.
my leg, and it started
Yeah.
pulling me toward it. And I was so scared. Me and my brother, like, I was screaming, you guys. I was trying to grab my brother that was next to me. My brother was frozen, you guys. My
He
brother
was awake though.
He was awake.
Oh
He
my
was
gosh.
just staring at it.
Oh,
He was
Wow.
he was
so
just
he
staring at it.
also seen this thing too, huh?
What's
Yeah,
that?
he's seen it.
Oh,
He was frozen,
did
like
did
frozen
he did
still.
he
Yeah,
yeah, did he
he's seen it.
see? Oh shoot.
Yeah, he's seen it. And so
Wow.
when it was pulling me, I was trying to grab my brother. I was screaming. I was screaming. My brother was out of it. He was just staring at it. And then finally, all of a sudden, he snapped out of it. You know what I mean? He snapped out of his, like, looking at it again.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he woke up and he started pulling me. And he's like, he was trying to yell out for my mom. I swear, you guys, my mom couldn't hear us. Like, I swear, we're so loud. We're screaming on top of our lungs, everything. She did not hear us. And then all of a sudden, like, I was close to it. Because I remember the nails. I felt the nails on it. And I all I remember was my mom must obviously kind of hurt me, finally heard us.
Mm-hmm.
And she got right when she opened that door. That thing, like, I guess it knew that she was coming in. My brother used to have this tall mirror in his room too. It was like an oval mirror, like a body size mirror.
That's not good. Yeah.
Yeah, he used to have a body mirror, full mirror in his room, and it was by his closet. So that thing, whatever it was, when my mom opened the door, it ran through the mirror. All I could see is the mirror moving like a
Like a
portal.
water. Like a
Yes,
water thing.
water.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was
Yeah,
rippling.
that's kind of one thing I hear too is these mirrors, they're back
They're
in
portals.
the like yeah, they're more
Other dimension.
portal to say like you don't put two mirrors side by side or facing each other, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
They're also known to like trap
Mm.
spirits too. They also you can see them like in movies, like Constantine. They use the mirror to capture that
Yeah,
demonic.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's scary. That's scary
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah. And then
Wow.
another one too, uh I remember seeing something on YouTube that Michael Jackson had a room full of mirrors. Like he would sit there like in front of a mirror and have a mirror behind him, and then it'll be like a lot of mirrors, and then it'd be like the man, like a man. He would say, you would see in the mirrors that a man would open a door and come through the mirrors.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
I
Good.
believe it because I've
Crazy.
seen something similar like that when I was young too.
Yeah.
Um,
Real
that's
quick,
like an
real
old
quick.
one.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Let's catch up with our viewers here.
No. So after that, she woke up. She like
uh,
let us sleep with her in her room, and um, you know, me and my brother always assumed that it was our dad. You know what I mean? We always kind of like thought of that because my dad did pass away like maybe a week or 2 weeks before that.
mm,
And he did pass, and my
yeah.
mom she was going through, that whole situation, was crying all the time, emotional, you know what I mean? So I don't know if that kind of I don't know if that kind of triggered whatever, that was around us too, made us
It
look like we're
does.
weak, or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was going through all that. But the next following day, you guys, after that, I was like, okay, whatever this is obviously, she finally caught on, she's like, okay, it must be something.
Mhm.
So she's like, I have to work tomorrow, she got a job, so she had to work. So she's like, stay at your cousin's house, next door. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool, like, we'll be around people, so I don't have to stay here, with my brother at the house. Like, I didn't want to be there. So even in the daytime, I was scared. So we went over there, and they're telling us about their stories, you guys.
Oh.
And tell me why.
Hmm.
Something was telling me to go back to the apartment, my apartment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I looked out the door from my cousin's apartment, and I swear I seen the door open. So I was like, oh, my mom's home, you know? So I was like, Marco, my mom's home. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, I'll be over there later. He's like, just tell mom I'm going to be here, you know? So I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I went already over there, not thinking, you know, I'm thinking that I've seen my mom go inside. So I go into our apartment, and I was like, okay. I was like, the door's open, but she's not, you know? And so I start calling out for her name. I was like, Mom, where are you? You know, I was like, where are you? And I was in the kitchen, and she's like, I'm over here. And I heard a voice. So I was like, oh, it sounds just like her, you know? So I was like, okay. And I went in the living room. I stopped in the living room. And then I was like, where are you? And then she's like, and I was just like, where are you? You know? And she's like, come here. She's like, and she sounded like she was mad at me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like she had this angry voice,
Wow.
like I did something wrong. And she's like, get over here now. And I was like, oh shoot. And it came from her room, you know what I mean? So I was like, oh shoot. I was like, man, I'm in trouble. Like, what did I do? You know, I didn't know what I was doing, but I was walking toward it. And I felt this cold breeze pass me in the hallway. Like a wind, you know, blew by me. It was all cold. I got the shivers. I got like, you know, but I kept walking toward her room because she was calling me. So I went in there. There was nobody in that room, you guys. Nobody was in the room. My mom too, she, after that day when she seen the mirror, we were telling her about the mirror, that I ran into the mirror, she moved her mirror back into her room, you guys, because of that.
Snap.
So I didn't know that until I was looking around her room, and I noticed that mirror, and I was like, I looked at her closet, because those closets didn't have those closing closets, you know? So it just had an open closet. So I was like, okay, there's nothing there. My mom's not here. Like, where? And then so I said again, where are you? And when I said that, my mom used to have her bed covered all the way to the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it said, I'm down here.
Oh
and
no.
And I was like, what? You know, I was like, what? I was so scared, you guys. I was just standing there, and I was like, all of a sudden that cold breeze came, and it shut the door. Shut the door right on me, because I was not close. You know, I was close to the door, but I wasn't like, you know what I mean? It was right behind me where it closed it.
Yeah.
So, and then its voice changed. It's like, I'm down here. And it was like a man's voice. And I freaked out, but you know what? That door was not locked. I grabbed the door and I freaking took off. And I can just hear it yelling, but it wasn't my mom's voice this time. It was a man's voice. And it was yelling at me, like telling me to come back.
Wow.
And I was like, ever since then, I went back to my cousin's house. I was shaking. I was so scared, you guys. Like my brother, like, I didn't want to go back to the house. I did not. I told my mom, no, I'm not. We moved out. Out.
Good.
But before we moved out, you guys, like I said, I was already having problems before when we first moved there. I would look out my window in the middle of the night. It would be like middle of the night. I would pray, because I was thinking like I would see my dad again, you know what I mean? Because my mom did tell me my dad passed, and I never wanted to believe it. And I would pray, and I would pray by the window. So my curtains were up, you know, so I would look out the window.
Yeah.
And all I remember hearing was kids laughing. I would hear kids laughing, and then I look at the playground, because the playground was just right there from my window. And you can see the swings moving back and forth. You can hear kids running and playing, and there's nobody there. And those playgrounds are still up till this day, you guys. And I hear so many stories about those places. Like my friend's house, they be telling me they be hearing kids running down the hallways. They be playing hide and seek with these kids that aren't kids, and they wouldn't be there. 1 minute they'll be there, and 1 minute they're not there no more. So I just think that whole place was just haunted.
Sounds like it. Sounds like the whole ground is haunted. But let me pause you real quick, Vanessa. Let's say hi to the viewers out there real quick. See here. Hello, Shadow IDK. What's up? See, Heidi. What's up, Heidi? Good day, Don. Much love from Boulder, Colorado. What's up, Don and Darren? Yes, like, sub, follow. Hi, Darren and Vanessa. Much love from Boulder. Hey, what's up?
Thank you.
Says hello to Don. Oh, sorry. Hello to Don't Whistle at Night Crew, Don and Darren. Hello, Vanessa.
Hi.
Right here, right here. Hello, you all. Jenny, aka Raven Ranch, on board. Right there, Team Rama, Bigfoot Rama, right there. Growling, no good. Yeah, that's not good when it's growling. Not at all. Hey, what's up, Kurt W75? What's up, brother? Hey, Don and Darren. Hope you're having a great day so far. Peace, Vanessa. Thank you for your time today. Definitely, most definitely.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Vanessa. Oh, hey, what happened to Darren? See. Oh, okay.
I was gonna say what happened to him.
Oh man. Let's see. Let's give these guys read what they say. Darren's gonna pop up. He should. He said his internet's spotty. Stop watching scary movies. Why would you do that? Yeah, that's what the old ones would always say. Quit watching them scary movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, myths, monsters, and mullets. That's a great name right there. As I've gotten more into the paranormal, I question the whole "is it your imagination" argument with the kids being afraid of the dark. For real. Heidi says, "Oh wild, oh wow, wild." Awesome. I like how these guys they carry on the chat down there while we're chatting. What's up,
No,
Amber? Yeah, these guys also have their own podcasts as well. So these guys are pretty cool people. I wonder what scary movie is most like Vanessa's experience. Like if she watched, it could trigger feelings about what she has gone through. Yeah, about that one, yeah, like I seen a video not too long ago where a girl was playing under her, like next to her bed, and then like a shadow went and dragged her in underneath the bed. I don't know if you ever seen that
oh my
before.
God. No.
Yeah, yeah,
No.
it's crazy. And the mother, she went back in there with the camera. She went underneath the bed, and there was a toy like a doll that was in there that was moving around. Looked at her, and she crawled back out underneath the bed, and she was screaming. So it's just
Oh.
so it sounds something like that for real. Right here, see wild interdimensional kidnapping. Yeah, for real. Like I played a Ouija board one time, and a portal opened up, and how that portal looked was black and gray, and it was spiraling in. That's when we are playing the
Wow.
Ouija board. This was on the Navajo
Right?
Nation.
Never played with
Yeah,
Ouija boards.
for real. This is what curses. My mind can't even wrap the concept of something fast penguin walking that first, but something that's like a shadow outlining. Crazy.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is crazy.
trippy.
Yeah, it is. Let's see
You would
here.
not expect to have stuff like that happening, but it does happen.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Then we got somebody from Twitch right here. Dark Dark Habibi 188. Hellos, people. Hey, that's what's up. What's up, Dark Habibi? And he says, that's crazy. This is right here. I'm going to whistle at night. Oh yeah.
Oh
Make sure
no.
go
No.
ahead. Yeah, especially if you see the northern lights. We're not supposed to whistle at it because like, I had some family up in the northern area, they're whistling at these northern lights. And they said these those lights will come down and look for whoever's whistling.
Oh wow.
So yeah, when you see it, you're supposed to be quiet. Let's
Oh
see
wow. I didn't know
here.
that.
Yeah, right here. Hello. Hey, the elegant hobo. What's up from Saskatchewan, Canada? I think you mean Saskatchewan, North Montana. No, just kidding. I was just kidding. Yeah, it's my good homie right there. We just tease each other right here. It says, I told my kids, you can never erase visions. Oh, wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
it's like a
Don't,
scar.
Yeah, it does. It does. It brings back trauma,
And
and like,
that happened to me when I was 5 years old. Like, my brother was only 2 years older than me, and I still remember that stuff.
jeez. Yeah, elegant hobo. Don't mess with a Ouija board. Definitely. There he is. There he is. Dropped off the face of the world. Not yet, bud. Not Montana yet. Yeah. So we caught up with everybody's comments
All
on the
right.
chat section. Thank you
Perfect.
guys so much. Thank you guys for chatting, saying hello to us. It brings us fuel. To keep giving you guys content, and it's been fun. So, hey, Darren, you have any questions for Vanessa before we move on? Can you hear me,
Yeah. Oh,
Darren? Oh,
Darren.
it's all good. Oh, he's frozen. He's frozen in
Frozen.
time. Frozen in time capsule. So we'll just move on. What do you So what is out of your time there, have had anyone done like any ceremonies or brought in any pastors or priests or anything like that? No.
No, to be honest, we didn't start doing like like going to our medicine man, like not until like probably not until we started seeing Bigfoot, to be honest.
Oh, my favorite
Yeah.
guy.
That's when we started seeing, like, we started, really started going our traditional ways. Um, Before all that, I was Christian, so I would pray all the time. I would go to church. I would do all that, but I don't know, whatever it was messing with me, but it was doing it, and it didn't. It doesn't stop. You know what I mean? Like one of the
Mm,
guys says. That's why I do a lot of prayers now. I do my traditional ways. I bless my house. I bless myself. Um, just the old ways.
yeah, definitely. They make you carry a arrowhead or two, and what's it, bitter root, one of the things that you have to carry it when you see the big guy. And what I've heard, from investigating him on the Navajo Nation, is that once you see him, you're supposed to carry an arrowhead, some medicine with you, a few
Yeah,
medicine.
yeah. We carry
Yeah.
that all the time with us now in our
Oh,
vehicle
that's cool.
and on us. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So
yeah.
because all these things been happening all the time, and you know what? I've also heard too from my grandma that these are gifts that are coming to you, especially if you like my grandma. Like I, for instance, for one, I dream things before it happens, and
Oh, yeah.
I have it's almost like deja vu, but it
Hmm.
happens a lot where I can remember things and I already know what's going to happen before it happens, and I'll be telling somebody what's going to happen, and we'll just watch, and it will happen.
That's pretty cool. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
it's kind of scary too because it's the
It
same
it is. Hmm.
spirits. It's the same with spirits. You can talk to people, or you're not supposed to be knowing about the unknown. You know what I mean? Like, I've my grandma just told me don't ever fear these things. So now I don't fear. I I don't fear it no more.
Yeah. Once you, like they said, that once you give it fear, it's like fuel for them, and then they already know. You know what I mean? That,
Yeah,
like,
it's more of them. They can easily get you. You know what I mean, or capture you, or whatever they want to do with your soul. They can over do something with it. Like you see all these
definitely.
things, people they get their bodies taken over. So
Hmm.
it does happen, I believe.
Yeah, it does. It
So
does.
going back to my story with the little part of the, like, me living in Winslow
Hmm.
at those apartments, I also seen, not just me, but my brother's friends, everybody that lived around in those apartments, they all seen
Darren, you
it.
are back, my brother.
You're not gonna freeze.
Yeah. So, hey, Darren, can you hear us? Say something. I can't hear you.
You got it.
Oh, there you go. There you go. There
Okay.
you
All right.
go. Okay.
So
Yeah.
what I miss? I'm sorry,
Oh
but
yeah.
just keep going. Continue with the story.
Oh yeah. She was leading us into like her into her Bigfoot encounter and the medicine that we're supposed to have when we see Bigfoot. And it's a
Uh,
gift, and like being out there, they said you're supposed to carry these on you because once you see Bigfoot, there's like a highly chance that once he sees you again, he's going to carry you away. That's the
mm,
reason why for the medicine we have to carry. That's what they explained to me.
mm,
So that when you see him, you're gifted. Gifted. Period. And she was telling us that she foresees things. We have a lot of that passed down in our people, that we have the gift of foreseeing. Even the gift of singing, making things move, picking yourself up and transporting yourself from A to B. And back in our days, one of the gifts that they also have was the chanting, the hatkathi, in translation that means the singer, the chanter. So whenever they would go up to the northern parts of Utah, they would raid the Mormon cattle, horse, sheep, and they would come back towards the Colorado River, and the singer would go in front, and he would be singing, chanting, chanting, and the Colorado River would drop very low where they would cross, and all the animals, whenever they would cross, the chanter would come and he would sing again, and the water would rise back up, and then the Mormons couldn't cross Colorado River.
mm.
So like certain people had certain gifts and certain jobs within the tribe.
Yeah.
Some people had all the gifts. Some of them had one or the other. Everyone had a specific job, which is to ensure our survival, which
Yeah.
brings us here today. But yeah, you have any questions for Vanessa, Darren, from her last stories
Uh,
of the hauntings?
yes. Was this haunting in the area? Because you were saying that you went to your cousin's house and they had stories too. Was it the exact same spirit or whatnot?
Um, I would say so because even I have a niece. My niece used to live on the other side of the buildings,
Mm,
and she said that when I was telling her about my story about what I seen, I didn't even go to what I seen. I just told her I had that experience in our place, and she's like, "Me too." She's like, "Me and my sister." She's like, and then she's like, and then when I told her when I seen a hairy person, a hairy
Oh,
thing, and she's like, she stopped me right there. She said, "I seen the same thing." She's like, she was kind of like crying because she said nobody believed her, and
mm,
she said that what happened with her with the apartments over there at where she was at. She said that her and her sister had a bunk bed. She would be on top and her sister would be on the bottom. She said that in the middle of the night, something came in the room and was playing with her sister's hair,
oh man, that's
like was
mm,
crazy.
touching her. You know what I mean? Like kind of like just touching her face. And she woke up and she seen it and she freaked out. She just climbed the on top of the bed and was waking up her sister. And she's it's there. She was just saying it. She was like, it's there. And she's like, and so my cousin, she looked over her bed and she seen that figure, that same figure telling you guys, it went into the mirrors. She said it was in their house too. She explained everything that I was like, what does it look like? Because I didn't want to give her my idea of what I
Mhm.
seen. So all I said is I said it was hairy. And
so,
she's like, she explained everything that I mentioned, how it looked, how it was walking. And I told her, I was like, yep, that
mm,
was what it was. So that thing, whatever it is over there, it I don't know if it likes like girls, but it's around there. It's around that area.
Oh
is
man,
this place still
hmm Yeah, it's still
standing?
yeah,
Is it? Huh.
it's
we
still
gotta
renting
go
homes. It's
investigate.
still yeah, it's still low incoming housings. It's still there. Like I said, the monkey bars, the swings, they're still there.
Wow.
Wow.
So do you think this was? Has any adults at the time see anything? What did your mom have to say about all this stuff that was going on? Did she?
My mom didn't believe me at first. I've been trying to get her to tell me what she did see because she did see something there. She's seen
Hmm,
something that she does not want to talk about. I keep trying to tell her, like, just tell me, because I'm grown now. And I told her, I was like, just explain it to me. Like, what else is she said? I don't want to talk about it. She's it's bad. She's I don't want to talk about it. Why do you think we moved?
huh. How about what about
It's a lot.
your cousin's parents? or
Yeah,
what
they
did they have to
believe
say?
they
Did
believe
they
it,
see?
but yeah, they seen it. They seen it. They but then you know what? Those are low incoming housings, and it was really hard to get into those places for you know what I mean people to get in.
Mm,
So people don't want to automatically just move because some people don't have you know anywhere to go, so they just stick it out.
ouch.
That was the
Wow.
same, yeah, and that's the same with the little people that are living around there.
Mm.
1 second. Let's go back into your Bigfoot story
Yeah.
real quick. But yeah, because he's my favorite. You mentioned Bigfoot, so I'm like, oh yeah, my favorite. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That was a little different story. That was when I was a little bit older.
Oh,
That
okay.
yeah,
Chronological order. Okay, sorry.
I'll mention
Go
that
ahead.
one in a little bit. Okay.
Okay. Oh,
You're
sorry.
getting ahead of yourself
I know. Bigfoot. I'm like,
just
yeah,
because you heard your friend.
yes, my hairy guy.
No,
Okay.
okay, but little people around that area, there is also the adults knew this, the grown-ups knew this. They would always say this. They'd be like, don't let those little people get you. And I was always thought it was just a saying, you know, like, oh, they're just trying
Mm.
to scare us, you know what I mean? Because I didn't
Mhm.
see nothing at that time. So I
Uh,
seen it
how
though.
how,
I seen
how
it.
much
Wow.
peop how much were uh, apartments were in these complex?
Too many. They're all
Two.
it's like a big old rectangle area, and there's full of
Mm,
they're all connected, and it's like it's almost like the apartments are next to each other. You know what I mean?
mm,
Mhm. Wow. A lot
And
mm.
of bad things went
it's all
down.
brick. It's all brick wall. It's like yeah, they're all brick, and it's
That's
kind
pretty.
of a little out of Winslow, a little bit out of Winslow, but
Oh
they're
wow.
still there. They're still there.
So these
Mm.
little people would be coming in a little bit closer to the apartment complexes, like try to
They're
steal little
they're
things.
just they're just right next to the apartments.
Wow. Like
It
a
kind of makes.
hill or
Huh?
like in a hill or anything
It's
particular
okay.
that come
That
out of?
area is like dirt area. So there's
Oh.
gravel. It was just flat, you know, bushes. It's just bushes, and it's just a flat area. So they
Wow.
were trying to make a construction. They had construction workers over there trying to build. I don't know if they're trying to like make the roads back there more flatter, like you know, instead of bumpier.
Yeah.
So they were moving the gravel on the ground, underneath the ground, and when they're doing that, you guys, those little people, they're like this big. Those little
Huh.
people were living underneath the ground, you guys.
Hmm.
They were living
Wow.
underneath the dirt. It kind of reminded me of Smurfs, you know?
Oh.
You know
Huh.
the movie Smurf, and they, you know
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
like, they live underneath the ground.
Hmm.
That's literally how it was. So
Wow.
when the construction workers were digging underneath the ground, they were pulling up those people.
What? Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
and this
That's
is my.
horrible.
I'm gonna tell you, this is my brother's story from what he told me,
Hmm.
and I started seeing them afterwards. You know, but his story was, they were doing construction, and they were digging underneath the ground, and they're picking it up, right, and they're
Hmm.
piling it in a hill, right. So they had rocks like cements and stuff, and they were like on like, I guess they were underneath the ground too, because when they pulled up the ground and they're pushing all of it to like in a hill, um those people were getting picked up, like I said. And my brother said that him and his friends were playing around there, and he said that all they can hear was screaming.
Oh my
He
gosh. It's
said they
crazy.
heard screaming, and he's like, where's that coming from, you know, him and his friends. And they went to the noise wherever they heard it. And so the construction workers, they left, you know, left the area. Maybe they didn't, I don't know if they seen it, I don't know if they heard it. But those, you know, those construction worker things, they're kind of pretty loud, right? So you can't really
Yeah.
hear anything. So they left their equipment there. And my brother said that all they seen, he said they ran to the noise, and they can see, they looked down the where they were picking up the gravel, and they seen all these bunch of little people, different sizes, were all
Wow.
down
Wow.
there, and a lot of them were dead.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
That
so
is
some of
horrible.
Wow.
yeah, so some of the people were dying and or dead because of the gravel they dug underneath the gravel, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they're crying and they're my brother, that's what he told me. He said that they were throwing rocks at them because, you know, they're kids, they're kids, and they, I don't know why they would be throwing rocks at them, but they were scared, so they were throwing rocks at them, trying to chase them away. So he said that they ran into those, remember I told you these rocks, the hills that they the concrete they pushed up and they put it as a hill. They,
Yeah.
all those people ran into that concrete. They made holes into that concrete, and they were living in that.
Wow.
So they were
That's
living in that
sad.
hill. They were living that hill. My brother always told me, stay away from that hill, stay away from those concretes. Don't be going near it. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, okay. So my brother and his friends were trying to, like, you know, at least capture one. And he said that they were in there though. They dug a hole way in there. They couldn't, you know, they couldn't get to them. So he said they just left them alone. So days goes by. Me and my mom were like driving to my aunt's house where that hill was at. And she was driving and I was waking up from a nap and I was in the back seat and she was pulling into park. And all I seen, you guys, on the corner of my eyes was a little person running toward the hill. And it was kind of far from the hill, you know, so it was still running. And I seen it. And it was a boy, it was a man, I guess. It was like a grown man, but it was running. And I was like, I couldn't believe it, you know. You like, you look, you blink, and then you have to like look back, you know, at twice, like you have to look back and see if you really did see that, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, did I really see that? So I turned my head and I was looking in the back of the car window, and I could still see it running. And I was like, Mom, stop the car, because she was still, you know, she was all slow trying to park the car. And I was like,
Yeah.
no, stop. And she's like, wait, I'm almost parking. And I'm like, stop the car. And she's like, she finally parked, and then she just thought I was going, you know, crazy or whatever, maybe using my imagination probably. But she parked the car. She went to my aunt's house. She's like, come inside. She's like, whatever you're doing, just whatever, leave it alone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Mom, did you see that? Did you see that little person? She's like, no. She's like, whatever it is, just leave it alone. You know, she probably thought it was my imagination. So she went inside, and I looked on the ground, the dirt, and you could see little baby foot tracks.
Wow.
Yeah, you can see little foot tracks going up that hill.
Go
Is
ahead,
this
Darren.
place cultivated now? Is this area that you guys are talking about, the little people? Is this paved now? Is like there's there? Yeah.
Developed?
Is there
Is it
are
like
yeah?
developed
Is it
area,
developed?
or is
Yeah,
it
yeah. There you go.
or is it
No,
still?
they didn't do nothing with it.
Oh, we have a place
Oh,
to go,
oh,
Darren. Pick
yeah. I
me
was
up,
thinking about it.
Darren.
That's why I was. Do
Yeah.
you have any family members living in this low budget apartment building now?
Let's
Uh,
see. I might
there,
have somebody that still lives there. Yeah.
yeah. The reason why I say this is like Don was saying, it sounds like a good place to scoop around, search, and look. If we have
Yeah.
anyone that we can get a hold of out there, yeah, I think.
Yeah, and even if you guys want to ever meet down there, we can always do that, and I can show you the exact places where I've seen all of these things.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, nice, nice.
that
Yeah,
sounds
because
like
I don't.
fun.
I always go down there sometimes, like most of the time. So it doesn't matter. I can show you around the
Awesome.
Okay.
areas. I can show you the place that I lived at. I can show you the playground. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it might
Definitely.
good place to take some pictures. It's good that you talk about stuff like this because uh, it lets people know.
Oh, he
Yeah.
froze out. Oh,
It's his turn.
he froze out. Yeah, yeah. But we'll catch up with these guys. Meanwhile,
Okay.
we'll pause that. Let's see. Oh, hey, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The internet, it's just real choppy. But
It's all good.
like I
But
like I
hey,
said, if we could put some
go ahead,
pictures
Darren.
to these, put some pictures on these areas, that would
Yeah,
be
I
good.
always
But
wanted to go back and do like a story, like showing where it was at.
mm,
Oh
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it,
Definitely,
but
definitely.
it's kind of a hit and miss. I think if you take pictures of the area and they actually know where it is, you know how much people would
Would probably
actually
go
want to
over
go.
there and yeah,
Yeah, and just like destroy it. It's kind of sad, but but it's the same thing with the like petroglyphs and areas, sacred
oh
areas.
yeah,
I know maybe maybe a handful of places that aren't documented, and I would hate to like show people, show people these areas and just have like it out there so
yeah,
they can destroy it.
Yeah.
It's kind
yeah.
of, but yeah, but
That's
definitely,
what
yeah, we'll definitely go out there.
No, it's good. I know a lot of places, like I said, over there. Um, but when I seen that, like it kind of reminds me of those domes. You guys remember seeing the domes, like the ones we have now these days? You know how the ones they put as statues and stuff, like at Family Dollar or anything? They
Mm.
have the
yeah.
little hat and then the
Hmm.
little
Oh, little
The
the way
gnomes,
you know how they're
yeah,
dressed, you know
gnomes.
how they're dressed.
yeah.
Oh,
Tell me
so
why.
basically,
Yeah,
That's
tell
how
me
they
j-
why
look.
these things look just like that, but
That's
they're not
crazy.
grown. They're like they're literally this small. Like swear.
this is where like myth meets reality type deal.
Exactly.
Uh, like these people talk about trolls underneath the bridge, or they draw uh, uh, figures, or they make artwork. Native Americans to make artwork. I'm pretty sure they did not just do that just to do it. I'm pretty sure these are actually living things that they seen. Same
Mhm.
thing with these Smurfs and elves and fairies and stuff like that. It's kind of even your typical werewolf. Like
Yeah.
we're like obviously it had a name before. Now there's people out there seeing stuff like that, even with Bigfoot. So
Yeah.
it's kind of amazing, real
Check
amazing.
it out. We got Kurt W75. He said, "Okay, I'll be on my way, guys." Oh, let's see what these guys say. It says,
All right.
"Yeah, sacred areas are best kept sacred for sure. Secret, yeah,
Hmm.
definitely." Shh. All right, that's enough. No more location. I was kidding. Let's see this. He says you both got verifications through each other, so there has to be something there very interesting. And all the playgrounds still set up. That's some wild cursed land. Yeah, definitely something
Mm.
bad had to happen there for sure.
I was told
Well,
it was an old before that place was built. I heard it was an old town that was there before it was built over it.
wow.
Wow.
Even let alone these little people too. So obviously, I would be kind of steamed if someone
Mhm. Yeah.
bulldozed a house. Yeah.
TG says, "Hi, panel. It's a hot one here in St. Louis, Missouri. Glad to be here. My friends tell me when I tune into this live, you're just being cryptid again." See, elegant hobo. There is history all over the globe regarding proto pygmy, and even on the ancient pottery with
Cane War.
pygmy and cane wars. Oh man,
Yep.
wow,
Yep.
that's interesting. I need
Mm,
to look into that. That's some good stuff to
Yeah,
read
there's
right
like
there.
different names for them. I noticed
Yeah,
that
mm,
there's different
yeah.
names for them.
Over in Alj or the western part of Navajo Nation, my uncle said that he's seen little people come out underneath the bush because it's a desert landscape, and they popped out. They had one lookout while they're digging in the bushes gathering something. He said there was like probably like about a foot, a foot and a half tall, and he said it had the hat too, like what you're describing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they grow. There's
I feel
different
like they're
shapes
just
and
like us,
sizes.
like just like people. Like how we have our different cultures and our different people. Like there's different Americans and different. You know what I mean? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
their people is just different areas. You know what I mean?
Mm,
yeah. And over in a different part of Western Navajo Nation, they said those little people they're darker skinned, they have dark hair, and they're dressed like wild natives. And like when we go hiking around there, we would hear voices, we would hear people chattering, and we would see all these trails are well kept, well maintained. And there's something still there, we just can't see, but I never really look lower. I'm like looking up higher, but
Yeah.
you gotta pay attention to the lower surroundings. but
Yeah.
yeah.
but yeah, you can go on with your stories. Or Darren, you got any more questions?
Uh, let's see. Yeah, that's so. Do you think this was attracted more to children, huh?
Yeah,
or just
everything I feel like it was attracted to kids.
uh,
It was
that
attractive to kids because
that
every other those other the other apartments that my brother was friends with too, they had the same thing that was happening too with just the kids. So
Yeah.
uh, that's that's
Wow.
just sinister, you know. Yeah, that's as evil as you can get is messing with kids like that and just getting a howl out of them.
I mean, I think they were messing with adults too. I really think so because my mom's friend that used to live in one of those apartments, my mom asked her, she's like, have you been having any problems with your place, you know, because we've been having problems with ours. And she's like yes, she's like, I've been having that a little girl come early in the morning, she'll come and visit me, and she would be swinging on like a swing, you know, in her room, on the corner of her room, and it would be high off her bed, so her bed would be next to the little girl swinging. She said she seen it, and it was like dress, like an old fashioned dress with the little scarves, like the ruffles and stuff.
Mm.
And she said
Uh,
that she made eye contact to whatever it was, and she got scared, so she pulled the blankets over her, and whatever that evil spirit was, that evil ghost, what it sat on her face, like sat, like
Oh.
was like maybe it was trying to suffocate her. She said she tried pulling down the blankets, and it was not pulling, you know, it was like it was just laughing on top of her, she said. And she said all she can feel was the feet. That's how she knew she was on top of her. And she
Oh,
said that she
wow.
couldn't breathe, and all of a sudden she kind of like just yanked it real hard, and she said it disappeared, and it was all she can just hear was it was laughing.
wow,
Wow. That,
So it, like I said, it could happen with adults, I guess, too, because my mom, we moved out when she said that, you know, she's seen something, and she would never tell us. She just spooked by it, you know.
hmm.
that sounds
And
like a really
in
bad
her
one.
way, she says we're not supposed to talk about it. That's what she told me. We're not supposed to talk
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
it.
yep.
She's like,
Yep.
leave it alone. She's like, don't talk about it. So, you know,
Hmm.
now I'm here telling my stories.
Yeah, we're here talking about it when they all told us don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're gonna bring bad vibe, bad
Mm.
energy, and like, but
that's
you
why
know
I
this.
do my blessings. I pray, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. Do
I
what
do
you
my
got to
old
do
official
after.
ways.
Hmm.
Um, did you
My
guys have
aunt. Oh,
questions?
you ever use like burning juniper?
We didn't use none of this at the beginning, you guys. My
Oh, okay.
mom, okay, wait, no, take that back. My mom did bless the house with sage. She blessed the house. She went through the whole house, and you know what? I think that's what made it angry,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
because she said it. All she heard, she said the same thing. She said she heard growl. She said she heard a growl, and it was just yelling.
Hmm.
So
Uh, Another question: how long were you guys at living at this
we're there probably
complex?
like within 3 weeks, not even a month. It was
Wow. So,
yeah, we didn't stay there that long, you guys. We were only there for a little bit because, like I said, it was happening every other day. This stuff was happening, and we were trying to get answers. You know, we would ask my friends. Me and my brother would ask his friends. There's nothing we
so
could do.
Wow.
what is the manager of this place? What does the landlord have to say about it?
My mom was friends with her. My mom was friends with the manager, so that's how we got into the place real quick, you know.
That's
Uh,
cool.
And so once we
she,
got in, yeah, her boys used to hang out with me and my brother all the time, and he's the one that was saying that they were playing hide and seek.
hmm, uh,
Yeah, and
so,
the she the landlord seen stuff. You know what I mean? She
She
says she sees
does.
things, but she said don't they won't bother you. You know, she just kind of kept it off of her. I
Just pay
mean,
your
well,
rent.
yeah, just
exactly. She's making her money.
yeah. Well, that's probably why it was kind of a low budget. This place is super haunted, you know.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
there's always
Yeah,
a
that's
catch. There's always a
yep.
catch.
I know some of the NHA housings out here.
Oh
Uh,
man.
my mother, she used to stay at one, uh, and she would say that yeah, there were the the doors would be open, or it sounded like someone would slam a cup against the uh, table, And
Yeah.
when she left, she managed to say talk to the actual caregiver of this place. Well, all she said was like, "Yeah, yeah, stuff like that does happen, but thanks for letting us know. It's always good." I was like, "Oh man, like, it's kind of crazy."
Yeah, because like
Wow.
even in the kitchen, like what I would hear too, I can hear like the fridge opening, because the magnet, you
Mm,
can hear that opening and then closing, opening and closing. And then you would hear like the cabinets opening and closing, like somebody shoving it, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
then you would hear the cabinet doors going back and forth. You can even hear the forks and spoons, like somebody's grabbing it and going like this together.
How like when you would bring children there, like from 2 to 3, 4, when you would bring them in, would they see anything weird or see a
No,
shadow?
we
Or they
didn't
tell
have
you?
we
Oh,
didn't
okay.
have people like that around my house. Like my mom, like my grandma did. My grandma came, like one of my good grandmas. She came over and she just said she just blessed the house. That's all. That's all. But she didn't even stay there. She left. She just
She
watched us
already
for a little
knew,
bit.
huh? Wow. She probably seen
wow.
something like, nope,
She
I ain't not
she might
sleeping
have,
here.
yeah, she might have seen something and she just blessed the house. And like there was really not much we could do because we didn't have a place to live right after, so we just stuck it out until um until we moved out, we finally found a place.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
well. I'm glad you
Uh,
got out of there and you're sharing your stories here.
yeah.
Thank you again.
Eh,
Yeah.
yeah.
um
Yeah. You ain't living unless you have a little bit of childhood trauma going with you. Wow. You just
yeah,
reservation.
and then
Wow.
in that same area, you guys, there behind the building, there's like a little area. There used to be, I don't know if there is anymore, but there used to be like trees back there, a little area full of trees. I think that's the only where it had like the water would come through those tunnels because there
Yeah.
would be these big tunnels that would be underneath the ground. And my brother and his friends would play over there, right? Because those tunnels like would be open on both ends. And then there'll just be one big tunnel. So you can see the other side and the other side, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of it would be a hole in the middle. So they will always
Mm,
play around there in that area. And
Wow.
they said that they were playing back there, right? And they said that they were chasing something hairy. Remember what I said I seen?
Hmm.
And they said that they were chasing it, and it led them to it, that whatever it was, it ran into that tunnel. And my brother and his two friends, they blocked that area. They blocked one
mm,
side and they blocked the other area, and they're trying to throw rocks at it, and that thing was just screaming like in a weird, it had a weird noise. He said it was a weird noise. He's like, I didn't even know what it was. He's like, but we're throwing rocks at it. And then all of a sudden, he said that his friend that was on top in the middle, he seen what it was, and whatever it was, it jumped out from the middle of the tunnel, and it just took off running.
What in the
yeah.
world?
And it was the same thing. He said it was the same thing that we seen in the room because it was wobbling back and forth like a pigeon.
Sounds
So
like Winslow is like another hub or something. You know what I mean?
I
Like a
think it used to be like a cult or something because they have under like anywhere else they have tunnels underneath the ground, like the city and
Oh
wow.
yeah.
stuff. They
Yeah.
have that
Mm,
down there too.
that is
Yep.
crazy. Wow. I
If
didn't
you
know that.
know,
Yeah.
there's a Mexican restaurant in the kind of like in the outskirts of Winslow, and
Hmm.
if you go in the back of the building, if you look from the distance, you guys, there's a distance from there, and you can see a hill, right? They have I think it's like a triangle or a star. It's a symbol though, and that's where they used to do their rituals.
Mm, yeah.
Wow.
These underground tunnels. I don't know what it is, but I do know of places. Globe, Arizona is one of them. They're
Yeah,
they're known to have uh, underground tunnels, and that downtown area is haunted too.
yeah,
Even Flagstaff, Arizona, downtown Flagstaff is haunted too. And
yeah.
another kicker to this is there are underground tunnels leading back and forth downtown. So it makes you wonder what is actually going on long ago, with all these underground tunnels. It's really strange, but now I'm just kind of like running some lines together. This is really interesting stuff with
Yeah,
these
it's
tunnels.
crazy. It's crazy how things
Hmm.
are.
Wow.
But when I don't know if like a lot of kids did die there too. But I remember like there's this one kid that did pass there, and I remember behind the buildings of that place, those apartments, there's there used to be this little storage house, and they put a gate around it, because kids kept on messing with it, and so they put a gate around it to close it off. And these kids, my brother was there when all this happened, and he said that these kids were picking on this one kid, and he said that they dared him to go in there into that little storage, right?
Yeah.
And that little boy, was so like peer pressured, so he went in there. That little boy didn't come out, and we
Hmm.
find out that that little boy got bitten with all kinds of snakes.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
horrible.
and I know he passed through there though.
Wow.
So
Uh, tell me something else. Let's. Is there any kids go missing out there? What is the like? Is this place like freaking? Uh,
Still having
uh,
missing person's
yeah,
cases.
I do
yeah.
not
Is
know,
this
to be
place like
honest. I
a
don't
Stephen
know.
King book or?
Hmm. That's pretty crazy.
I never
Well,
looked into it that far, but I know
yeah,
that a lot of people in that area, they knew about little people. They knew about ghosts. Um, we weren't the only ones that were having these experiences with our door always wide open and our cabinets all out.
yeah.
My other friends had their houses, their apartments like that too. Um, so it wasn't just us.
Just a dark
Wow.
history of the little town,
Y-
dark past type of
Yep.
deal. But yeah, we can move on your little
Okay,
story.
for
That's
next
pretty
story
cool.
I'm going to do is about Bigfoot. So
Oh,
Yeah.
So I'm getting
okay.
okay. So this is my next. When I got a little bit older, I was in my teens, you guys, and this is when I was with my mom. We're driving back from Phoenix, you guys. We're going back to Winslow. So we're driving. My mom passes by all these gas stations because she needed to go. I don't know. She just wants to hold her pee, obviously. So she don't want to go restroom. She's like, I can make it home. She's like, I can make it back to Winslow. She's like, I'm gonna just hold it. She couldn't hold it. So we had to pull off the exit, you guys. We had to pull off this exit that was close to Winslow. Um,
Mhm.
this exit that we pulled off of, there obviously was trying to make some construction working because they flattened the ground and they opened the gates that used to be right there. There used to be barbed wire gate back there to cut it off, but they opened it because they're making something obviously back there. So my mom reversed her car. So when we were about to drive back out, we can just drive out from the oh, from the freeway.
Mhm.
And so we stopped and tell me why it was full moon that day. There's no clouds out, you guys. Full moon. And my mom, she got out of the car, did her business, and I was sitting in the passenger seat. And I was trying to, not thinking nothing because there's nothing out there. We looked around, there's nothing out there. So I was like, okay, we're good. And she did her business and she was pulling up her pants and she said she smelled this funky smell, you guys. She will never forget it. She told me, because I was trying to explain to her, like, what does it smell like? She's like, I don't know how to describe it. She's like, it's like, someone
Body
has to
odor.
take a shower. Yeah, she
Yeah.
said it was body odor. She's like, but it was bad. She's like, it's not even body odor. She's like, you will never forget the smell. She's like, it stunk though, she said. And she said she didn't know what it was, but obviously it caught her attention. So she was pulling up her pants and she turned around, and because that's where the smell was coming from.
Behind.
And behind her was a big figure, you guys. This figure was tall, and it was like that hairy, but it looked like a mop. That's what it looked
Mm.
like to me, because I had to
Uh,
turn around because she was frozen. She's like, what the, she's like, what the fuck is that? She's like, what the F is that? She's like, she was frozen. She's just trying to like get a good look at it. She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I turned around, I looked out the window from that back window, and I seen the figure, because the
Mm.
moon was shining like literally right on top of it, so you can see the figure of the outside of the figure. And it was just standing there just looking at us. It was not that far from us too. It was
creepy.
only a couple feet away, you guys.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it was looking at my mom. um she was frozen. I was like, get in the car, get in the car. Like, I was trying to get her. She was frozen, and she was like, I was like, I had to literally grab her shirt and yank her in, you know what I mean? Because I didn't
Mm.
know if that thing was going to charge at us. That's how close it was to us. And we drove, and all I remember was just looking at it, when we're driving off. I
Mm.
was just staring at it, and my mom automatically called my grandma, and she's like, she called her mom, and she's like, my grandma, obviously Native American, getting after you, in
Yeah.
Navajo. She's like telling her, you're not supposed to be out in full moon, and what are you doing driving at night, She
Yeah.
was getting after her. And yeah, you guys, it
Mm.
was, it literally was like Bigfoot. It looked like, yeah.
Uh,
It's
which
like
way
a
did you guys go from Phoenix? Did you guys go
Oh,
from?
I just remembered where the exit was. It was Winona.
oh,
Oh,
okay, I
okay.
know that
Oh,
one.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. Huh.
Winona.
Just right there.
I just remembered it automatically because I was like, what exit was it? Because I was like, I know it's
Oh
close to
yeah,
Winslow. It's
I
close
was
to
gonna
Winslow.
say Twin Arrows exit. No, just kidding.
No,
Past
yeah,
that
but
one.
they're still making something like a road back there. They're trying to do
Hmm.
something still with it. Because the last time I still try to go back there to see maybe if I could see something again.
Wait till
Um,
full moon.
yeah, but it was out there. It was flat area. Back there it's just flat, and
Yeah,
you can see the
Hmm.
mountains way back there. But this thing was so close. It was just standing there looking at us.
like he
Wow.
was waiting, huh? Waiting for you guys there already. Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. It wasn't there when we pulled up, you guys. It wasn't there. There
Mm,
was no vehicles. There was nothing out there.
wow.
Yeah,
That just adds
Yeah.
more to the mystery, huh? Well,
yeah.
literally got caught with your pants pulled down. Huh? Can't.
I always
Wow.
make
Jeez,
fun.
Huh.
I always make fun of my mom. I'm like, damn, what if he was smelling your urine when we pulled out?
uh,
oh
you,
man.
you know, I, with this Bigfoot too, they always seem to be attracted to women. You know, it's kind of a
Kids.
scary
Really?
thing. Yeah,
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 never knew that.
yeah. They tend to be attracted more to the women and their bodily functions, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's
Especially
it's
menstruation too.
yeah.
Yeah, like
So
my sister-in-laws, they're during COVID, they're staying in this really deep canyon, and they said that it was the first of the month, there's a bunch of girls and my aunt, she was all there, and they did their thing at the outhouse, and the next morning they're going over there to the outhouse and they see this big black hairy thing digging into the side of the outhouse. They're watching it, and they said they seen him. He had one of the used feminine products to his nose, and he was sniffing, and he was making a
uh,
weird noise as he's sniffing it. So every
oh,
evening they were saying every evening they were seeing Bigfoot jumping down the canyons, coming towards them. And when the sun was down, they were being surrounded by multiple of them walking around their camp. There's only one man there too, and like about five females there. So
Wow.
yeah. It's yeah. They seem attracted more to them. Like I was telling at the beginning of our podcast, or when we started, uh, a group of Apache women got chased out of the area because Bigfoot. You know, so
Wow.
where at?
right, right down, right down the road, bro. Pinion
Oh,
season.
right around there. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man.
Yep.
Mm.
So
Yeah, it's gonna
yeah.
Pinion season is what October. That's another good time to go snooping around, especially the first week of October.
Mm,
Especially first week of October in the springtime. And best time to look for tracks. Whoever's listening out there, best time to look for tracks is after it rains. And location to look for tracks is especially like where it rains usually, where it gets a lot of rain precipitation.
mm,
And if you ask the local natives there, where's the medicine? Where's the medicine grown at?
Yeah.
That'd be one of the ideal places that they'll be at because they know medicine better than we do. And
mm,
like this documentary that we got done doing with William Jevening out in the Chuskas, we're at Norbana Pass and we're at Breland Lake, and there's this one tree that was around the lake. We combed the whole lake area because we found a nesting area. And one tree, he's like, "Look, you missed it." I was like, "Yeah, I obviously missed something. Show me." And he took me
Yeah.
to this tree by the lake, and underneath this tree, they ripped off the bark of a tree, and at the bottom, you can see four huge fingernails that they got to the bottom of the tree, and they ripped off a bark of that tree.
mm,
And
What? Damn,
you know,
that's crazy.
yeah,
So
they
they
do
have a
things
lot
like
of
that.
strength compared to us, like what we think we have strength.
mm,
Yeah, they have a lot of medicinal knowledge as well, like the environment, and especially like one of the local groups here in St. George. Um, his group's called SCAM, Sasquatch Community Action Monitoring. So he posted a picture up not too long ago of a Sasquatch's poo, and he said that it had seeds, it had animal,
Berries and all that.
yeah, yeah,
mm,
and he said that he could probably play a vital role in the ecosystem. Like trees and all that. So
mm,
he definitely helps out, a lot. Like the wolves, they really help out the ecosystem because they don't allow the elk, the deer, all of them to overgraze, and they also help out when they poop out. They also help fertilize the ground and all that as well. So
Oh,
everyone has
okay.
a
mm,
role. Yeah, everyone has a
Yeah.
role in this world,
That's
especially
what
us.
I think too. Like even with those small people, they obviously have a role in something, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
mm,
yeah.
Obviously maybe underneath the ground, like the trees, because I know they live next to rivers. I've heard they live next to rivers, they live inside trees. They don't just live underneath the ground, they live behind rocks, they live in the mountains.
Hmm.
um so they're
Yeah.
trying to keep away from the we probably look like giants to them, so
Yeah, evil
yeah,
giants.
yeah.
Over in the crow, that's what the crow said. That's who their deities are. The little people. They say they're underground. They make sure the river flows, the rain falls, and the grass grow. That's one of
Yeah.
their
mm,
jobs they do. That's one of
huh,
I was at Crow Land not too long ago. It was pretty cool going to Montana. But yeah, you can continue or on your little life story if you can.
All right, the next one will be about fairies, you guys.
Ooh.
mm,
um I experienced not once but twice with fairies.
Oh
really?
snap! Okay.
Yeah. And I have like, well, the first time I seen a fairy was when I had like my, because it gets hot in the summer times. So this happened in Winslow again, you guys. I live at a different area though. I lived in a
Hmm.
different I lived in this house. It was a house, but my mom and my dad, my stepdad, they made it into two apartments, like they cut it in half in a way, and they just kind of closed up the middle of the housings, so they can make it as a like a rent home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that house probably had one, two, three, four, five, 6 rooms, or 7 rooms. Sorry, 7 rooms. Um, but before it was connected, before they did the split in the middle, before they closed the wall, that whole housing was just there, and it was an old house. So we're staying there, and I had my room upstairs, and it was only one room that was upstairs. And the only reason why I got the room was because it was small, it was just a small room, and it
Hmm.
had like a little closet. When you walk up the stairs, it had a small closet right there, and on the left side there was like a little step, and then it had like a little room right there too, like where you can play or whatever. But
Hmm.
that room also had a little door, you guys, a little door, and that door was closed. like somebody nailed into it, you know.
Mm-hmm. They closed the
And
doorway.
so it didn't have a doorknob, but you can see it was a door.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like a small door. It was like a kid-sized door. And that was obviously the storage room from that house. And the only reason why I would tell my mom and my my stepdad at the time, I would tell them like, hey, like what's behind there, you know, because it was my room. It was in my room area. And he's like, there's nothing back there. But at nighttime, I can see light coming from that door.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
So yeah, so nobody turned off the light on the other side. So I always wondered that. But going
Wow.
on with my story, I used to have a lot of dolls. I used to have a lot of dolls, you guys, and used to have a lot of portrait dolls. And my aunt would like vacuum my room, and she said the dolls would move,
Oh, snap.
so they would watch her. She said your dolls are watching me, and I would never believe it. So I would turn them around, you know, when she would come in my room and vacuum. She said they would always turn back around and be watching her. Wherever she went, you know, she's like, wherever she went, she's like, your dolls. Ever since then, she never came to my room.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't look at my dolls like that though, you know, because I was a girl. I was a girly girl. I used to love my dolls, took care of my all my stuff. So I would have the names for them. And there was one, her name was Amanda. I named her Amanda. She was a small one, small doll. She would end up one place to another, everywhere in the house. And she would never stay in one position. My mom said, no, you know, that's good. You're getting rid of those dolls. So I got rid of all the dolls, most of the dolls. Now I think I only have like two portrait dolls that I kept forever.
Were they all hand-me-downs, or did she purchase them for you?
That's a good question. I don't remember.
Dun,
I
dun,
don't remember
dun.
that, but that's a good question. I just know that some were handed down to me. And then I know the ones that were handed down to me was from my stepdad's mom that passed away. And she had that doll when she was a little girl, you know? So that doll looks like ancient doll. I still have her till this day. And yeah, she's a glass doll. But my other dolls I had to get rid of. My mom automatically, she's like, no more. So I got rid of them. So going back to the house that we lived in, we would, you know, I always thought it was kind of weird because, you know, when you're a kid, you adventure when you first move into a house. And I was venturing on everything. On my stairs, you guys, the stairway down on the other side of the wall, underneath the stairs, they had a door and it had a lock on it. And I always thought that was weird. I was like, what's behind that lock, you know? So I opened it. I went inside and it's nothing but brick wall, you know, in there. But you can see it's like a little storage place, you know? So I went inside, I had my flashlight, I was looking around, and all I seen was dates in there from like 1869 or, you know, and then there was handprints on the walls.
Creepy.
Like little kids' handprints. And then it had, what do you call those? You know how like sometimes when people write the days that they've been in there?
Yeah.
As like
Oh,
punishment or something.
snap. That's
And it
creepy.
had like the numbers, like the lines, and it
Yeah,
had
the
crossed
edge
out, and then it had
5.
it was a bunch of those lines all over there. I was like, and I told my parents, I was like, is that supposed to be there? Is that real? Like they were like, no, it's nothing. I was like, and then now I think about it, I'm like, damn, what if that was like a punishment? You know what I
Torture.
mean? Like a punishment for kids or torture, yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's bad. That's
yeah,
bad.
my parents
Poor
already
kids.
owned the house, so we're kind of like, you know, stuck there. So I started exploring, so I still explore. And I remember going to sleep one night, and this is when we decided to close off that you know, halfway of the house. So we closed it off and they rented it out to some other people. And so we're on the other side. This is where I have my room on the corner of the housing. And I had my windows open one night and it was morning time. It hit morning time early in the morning. And you know how like the reservation or anywhere you keep your windows open without the screen, you know, because you trust your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I trusted my neighborhood, so I left my windows open and no screen was on there. So
Oh.
I was sleeping and all I remember feeling was like buzzing next to my ears, like you know how you hear flies buzzing next
Yeah.
to you. But it wasn't like a fly noise.
Was
It
it like a
kind of,
hummingbird? Like a
yeah, it
hummingbird?
kind of reminded me like a hummingbird, or and you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of a dragonfly.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Mm.
dragonfly. The
Yeah,
wing.
that's what it
Okay.
reminded me of. But the wings was flapping, and I could
Hmm.
feel the wing. You know, like if you put a fan next to you, you could feel the breeze. I
Yeah.
felt that next to me, and I remember going like this when I was sleeping. I was like going like this, and I kind of touched it, and then I must have like I don't know why it was bugging me, but it was still like flying around my ears, around my face, and then I woke up. I woke up, and all I remember seeing something flying around my room, you know, real fast.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
crazy.
all I said, like, I had a jewelry box on my dresser, and it had like two windows, like where you can see through the window. Like when you open
Mhm.
the door of the jewelry box, it had like two windows, and the fairy took off by my jewelry box and was trying to hide behind my jewelry box. And it
Oh,
had the you know that little part where you open it where the window was at. It had that open like it was trying to hide behind it.
oh
And
snap.
I can see right through that window, you know, the window that was in there. And I was looking at it and I was like, am I seeing what I'm seeing? You know, like I was just staring at it and I got a good look of it, you guys. Like
Yeah.
it was probably like this tall. Sorry. About that tall, about two, like was that 1 inch,
3 inch,
3 inch?
4 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was that big. The wings were like big.
Mm.
Both wings were like big, and they had like four
Yeah.
wings.
Wow.
And the wings look like a dragonfly wing or a fly wing.
Yeah.
You
How
can
it's
see the
Mm.
patterns on
see?
the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the pattern on the wings, and it kind of reflected like a rainbow. So
Huh.
I seen all the
That's
details on
awesome.
that, and
Yeah.
it was a I don't know I want to say it's a woman, maybe a girl, but it was one of those. It was a female, and
Oh.
she was just scared. She was so scared that I seen her, and I can see her like she was panting, you know, like trying to catch her breath, like she was
Wow.
scared,
Uh-huh.
and she was just like looking at me. And she was like, and she when she seen me, and she probably knew I wasn't gonna do anything. She just flew out the window. And then
Whoa.
Wow.
I was like, did I
Wow.
see
Huh.
that? Yeah,
Ah.
no, I wrote it. I swear, you guys, I kept a journal with me, you guys, where I wrote all this stuff down when I was small because I always thought I would forget when I was older, you know. So
That
I
is
would write
cool.
all these things down and draw them out as much as I could.
Oh wow.
Wow.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Darren.
Wow. Wow. That's totally interesting. It's you just have to write it off on that paranormal checklist now. Like, wow, I never even thought like anyone fairy. You know, that's crazy. Um,
Yeah.
tell me,
That's good.
um,
Snap.
tell me, was this fairy? Was it wearing clothes? You know,
Yes.
like how you
Yes.
would picture.
It was wearing like leaf clothes. Like you know if you put a leaf around you and it's just yeah, it was wearing
Huh.
like leaf clothes.
Tinkerbell. Like
Almost like Tinkerbell, yes.
oh okay. That's
Almost like
cool.
if you
Wow.
watch these
Wow.
Disney movies, it kind of reminds me because now I believe it because I'm like, damn, all these things that they show in Disney movies, they are real because I'm like, I've seen all these things that are really
Um,
happening.
Mm-hmm.
did did it look sinister, or does it look like your Del Toro
It looked like an
fiction
innocent
fantasy?
person. It looked like an innocent person. It was a girl. I don't want to say it's a woman. It didn't look aged, but it was
Uh,
small. It did have a glow to it, like how like um
mm,
it was just like it was different compared to our bodies. You know how you can see our like our dark skins, and like it was light complected. It was almost like white, like kind of pale.
mm.
It was skinny.
Uh, tell me something. Uh, what does the hair look like? Did it have hair? Have long hair? Short hair?
It had hair, but its hair was like it was up, like all the hair was put up. It was not down.
Oh,
I don't know
like
how the
like a
how,
gel type of deal,
yeah,
or
no, it just looked like it was put up like in a bun, like
oh,
like somebody put it in a bun, like just like that. It was just up.
Navajo bun. No, just kidding.
wow.
Navajo bun. No, I was just put up though, and I was like,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't know how
cool.
long the length of the hair was. It was like kind of like white hair too. It wasn't
Wow.
like
Hmm.
it didn't have like hair, our texture. And you can tell it was different though. I just seen everything I could see on it. Like um it had like eyebrows like us, it had lashes like us. Obviously the eyes look like us, but smaller in a smaller version.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow, who would know? Winslow, Arizona.
Yeah, I know, right?
No,
Right.
Hey,
but this thing flew out my window and I ran outside to see if I could find it. And I remember it was flying around and it just disappeared. And I was like, oh my God, like, did I really see this? Did I really see it?
Since you brought up the Disney fairy, did this thing leave like a little trail behind? Like a
pixie
like like
dust.
like yeah.
It did. The second time I seen
What?
it,
Okay, okay,
Oh man!
okay. Good
Wow!
this
to know. Okay,
Wow!
go ahead. Go
well,
ahead.
I don't know how you explain it, but
You seen what you
I
saw.
seen okay, I also seen
Hmm.
the second time I seen it, I seen where it lived.
Okay,
Really?
all
Yeah,
right.
Wow!
because
Oh,
the first time I didn't
you don't have to give it away, but go ahead, tell us.
the first time I didn't I tried looking for it, right? Because it went in my
Yeah.
backyard. I have trees in my backyard, you guys. On my we don't live there no more, but we had trees, tall trees, like they were old trees though, you know what I mean? They've been there for a long time. They were really tall.
Yeah.
And I remember the second time I seen it, we were having like a yard sale. And then I was like the only one outside. My mom and my aunts went inside the house. Right when they went inside the house, you guys, this thing came in front of my face.
Oh snap.
It came
Hmm.
in front of my face, and this thing was fast though. These fairies are fast. So
Hmm.
I heard the buzzing, like the wings. I heard the buzzing noise, and I was falling where it was at. I had to run and find where it was at because that's the only way I can get up. Where it was staying.
Yeah.
It went into the top of the tree, inside the tree. It was living in the trees.
Huh!
Mhm. That is
Wow!
cool. I
Yeah.
like that.
And
Yeah!
it was the
Wow!
same
That,
thing.
that,
It was the same thing. It was the same person. It was the same thing because she flew right in front of my face again. And I was like, like what? Like, did
She
that really
remembered you,
happen again?
huh?
And I
hmm.
followed it and it was flying around like and by the tree and it finally like went in. It
Wow!
went in a
That is
hole. It
cool.
has a hole up on top of the tree.
Wow!
That's
I do
cool.
believe in
I like
fairies. I do. I do.
Yeah.
Wow!
Ever since
fairies.
then I believe
Fairies
in them
are
now.
real, mom. No, just kidding. That's cool. I
No,
like
for
that.
real.
Good story. That's
I mean,
you're
I see
lucky. But yeah, go ahead.
I see
Sorry.
videos of like now, like on YouTube or TikTok of like how the fairies look, and it didn't look like nothing like that. Like the wings, probably like how some people they say the wings look like leaves.
Yeah.
I think
Hmm,
that's how they probably look if they're dead. You know what I mean?
hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I
So,
think they're turned into like a weird like how we turn blue like when we
hmm.
pass or white. I don't know how we went when we
Pale.
pass, but um
Yeah.
they turn like they get all skinny, they sink in, and I think that's
uh,
how they do look like when they pass.
like turn into like a branch or something like a
Yeah, exactly.
bark. Huh. Wow. Wow. That's something. That's something. Um.
Yeah.
Huh.
Let's bring these guys up right here. Animals know where they're scat. Okay. All right. Let's see here. It says Hello, everyone from Louisiana. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
what's up?
Hi,
Oh, hey. In
Louisiana.
Ireland, they're protected areas where fairies live. Oh yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
that is true. That is true.
Uh,
Yeah.
Was it in Iceland's like that? They have like a little tiny community, like they
Mm,
go and offer like give offerings. Well, I think it was Denmark or Sweden. I can't remember which area, but
yeah, they have
that
like
is
little.
cool. Arizona has fairies. Yay!
Oh, yeah, and little
Yeah,
people and
and
Bigfoot.
little.
Little Bigfoot.
Uh, wow,
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that list is gonna keep going on, man.
we
No,
need to
I
get
really
out there
don't
Wow.
with the
tell people
camera.
about fairies because I'm like, who's gonna believe me about fairies? Like
Oh
there's no
yeah,
way
That
that nobody would believe me. But
all around the
well,
world. Yeah, they have like stories of fairies everywhere. So like same thing with
mm,
Bigfoot.
yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
what
awesome.
that I mean, I thought that was pretty cool too because I really didn't believe it at first, and I was like, I wrote everything, I drew like whatever I could. I gotta find my journal. My journal that I wrote all this stuff is I gave my mom put all my stuff in the storage, like, and we have so many things in the storage, so it's within all those stuff. But I actually have it.
wow.
Oh,
That's
you
a nice thought. Like the whole underground stuff. It kind of. I would like to think of it more like the Hellboy. The Golden Army,
oh
where they go underground and they see all these fantasy creatures and all that.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, it
the
could be.
elf
It could be.
world and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, could be.
Hollow Earth entrance and all that.
Mm,
It just like brings back you like a little child, inside of you. Like, hey, there's still a world of, wonder, still a world of mystery. We're still
yep.
tiny. I
Yeah.
like I like feeling that small. Like we don't know
No, and it's
much about
crazy
it.
that
No.
all this happened in a small town. And I'm pretty sure there's like there's so many things. They even have that what's it called? La Llorona? La Llorona? Is
Mm,
that my saying
La
that?
La
Crying
Llorona.
Witch?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the crying
The
lady.
crying
Yeah.
woman, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have that too.
Oh,
She
tell
comes
us about that. Yeah.
she comes out. There's a little outside of Winslow, there's like a little river trail, and everybody goes there for some for summers or whatnot, but you're not supposed to be out there at night. But we would always hear stories out there, so you always want to investigate it too. So me and my
Mm-hmm.
friends did the same thing. We went kind of like deep in the area where the river was at, and there's a bunch of rocks over there and stuff, so you have to like, it gets dark out there too at night. And me and my couple of my friends, we went out there, and we're just having fun, and we're like, they're like, be quiet, watch. And we're supposed to stay the night there, right? And we couldn't even stay the night there the whole night because it got bad. Like, it got bad where this the lady was messing with us.
Wow.
And
Really?
we're all there, and we all fell asleep, right? We all fell asleep, and there's no vehicles around us because we went kind of like deep in there, to like where the river was still flowing through, and there was like nobody around us, no vehicles, nobody. So um it started off when we're in the vehicle, and everybody was just sleeping, and we heard like noises, like it sounded like somebody was like scratching the side of the vehicle with their nails.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what? Like, that's what woke us up. So we all got out of the vehicle, and all we can hear, like, the guys were trying to like look around with the flashlight. And it was just me and the girls. We're just sitting there. We were like trying to wait for the guys to get back in. The guys come back running in the
Oh.
vehicle. And we just thought, hey, they're just trying to scare us. No, they were not trying to scare us. They're like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And we're like, no. Like, my friend that was driving the vehicle, that was her vehicle, she was like, no, like, you guys are messing with us, like, we're not doing. She's like, we're not gonna go until we see something. That's what she was saying, because she
That's
was like
cool.
not convinced. She was not convinced.
Yeah.
So we still
It's more
stayed
like
there.
it.
Yeah, she
Mm-hmm.
didn't believe them. So they were all shaking, like really scared.
Oh, shit.
They
Oh.
were scared. They're like, no, like they were just, like, they're literally trying to get us to get out of there. And we're like, she didn't want, she's like, nope. So we're in the car, and she's like, let's just get out. Let's go get out all together. we're just like, what can happen if we're all together, because nobody didn't want to stay by themselves in the vehicle or
Strength in
outside.
numbers.
So it got dark. It was midnight. So we got out of the vehicle. We're just all going down to the river because we're just looking around, but we're staying in together as a pack. So we're staying together and we're looking around, and then she's like, there's nothing out here. She was like, you guys are going crazy or whatever, and then all of a sudden you hear crying. You hear a woman crying, and we're like, and then she's like, cut it out. She did that to one of the guys. She hit one of the guys because she thought it was him. And everybody's all shaking with their flashlight. And they're like, it's not us. And she's looking at everybody and she can still hear the lady crying. And it sounded like a distance, you know what I mean? It sounded like a distance. And then it got closer. It was getting closer. And then she's like, so she's like, turn off your flashlight. She's like, turn off your flashlight. So we turned off our flashlights. And then next thing you know, all you can see was across the river, across the other side of the river, you can see a ghost figure. And her hair was down.
Oh, wow.
And you see the veil of her dress. And you could just see the outline, you know what I mean? Like the dress of the lady's dress. Her hair was black. You couldn't see her face though. She was looking down, she was crying, and we're all just stuck, you know what I mean? Frozen, stuck. We're like just looking at the direction because we all seen it. Our flashlights were all off, so we're just looking at it. And we all froze, and we all just booked it. We all just ran. And I remember a couple of us, we fell because there's rocks. There's a lot of rocks back there. We fell, and she sounded like she was getting closer to us. Like I don't know how she crossed that river, but she was getting close to us. We got back in the vehicle, and you can hear her next to the vehicle crying. And we just took off. We took off, you guys, and there is nobody around us. Nobody. We went to an area where there was no there's no like roads, where we just got off the road. So we're hitting those freaking like those rocks and everything. And she had a truck, but still, we were just all shaking and we're all talking about it. We're like, did you guys see that? And the guys, we're asking the guys what they seen, and they're like, she was crying for some kids, like she was looking for kids. And then he's like, we didn't believe it until one of the guys flashed the light, and she was screaming, and they said she was chasing him. And I was like, that's when the guys came into the car, and they thought we were messing with them too. But we're like, dude, we've been here this whole time. Like, what are you talking about? So
wow, that's
and I never knew that would happen. I would hear stories about it all the time, you know what I mean? But we never, like I said, we never believed it. We were just like, oh, it's just a story. But until we experienced it ourselves, we're like, yeah, we're not going there. Like at night, middle of the night, we're not staying. We didn't even stay there that long.
Quick question. Yeah. Do you get nightmares of that sometimes? Because I know I would get nightmares of that sometimes.
Yes,
wow.
Yes. Yeah.
Woo.
I get a bunch of nightmares. And
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that
this
one
is was This is by the Little Colorado River, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And that river goes all the way in the back. Like they say, if you go way, way back there, that you can find bigger fish and stuff because the water gets more clear. But yeah, like first I heard it from like not family members, but like my friend's family. They would talk about it because they would party down there and stuff, and they would talk about it, and I was just like, no, that can't be true, like But yeah, it is. I heard many stories.
Yeah, this La Llorona lady kind of makes you wonder if this is just something that everybody kind of brought to light by their imagination, or is it just the water alone that's just carrying this?
I mean, a lot of people die in rivers and waters, so I mean, I know there's a bus down there too, like in the water.
Bus?
Yeah, there's a bus down there.
How?
because
Okay.
the only reason why I said that is because like when I was younger, me and my friends we were like snorkeling in that area, and we always told that there's a second bridge that's above that water, and you can walk on it. And I found that bridge. I found the bridge that they were talking about. You can walk over it.
Yeah.
But by that bridge, there's a bus that's underneath there.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It just
Winslow.
depends because sometimes that water, it rises and then sometimes it gets lower.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of
Woo.
people
Oh,
have passed through there though, I've known.
Sometimes little towns have the best gyms, like hauntings, cryptids, and fairies, and La
mm,
Llorona. I mean, that is some pretty cool stuff.
And then
Just
there's
like,
like,
uh,
what is it? Like those, I don't know what that hairy creature is too. I don't know what it was, but that one was weird one too because I'm like, dang, I wasn't the only person that got to experience that too. You know what I mean? Like my cousin, my niece, she experienced the same thing. And whatever it is, it probably likes females, like little girls.
mhm, that's
And
that
then
is
whatever was trying to
life
grab
sore
me
eyes right
through the
there.
mirrors, I'm like, I always think till this day, like, what, where was I going to go? Like, what if it did grab me and pull me into the
mm.
mirrors? Like,
Was it
where was
like,
I going?
yeah, it probably been like that movie Poltergeist. Remember, it took
Type
that little girl and she's all speaking through the TV.
of, you're
Oh
right.
yeah, I forgot all about that movie. Yeah, I always think about that
There,
though, because I'm
Huh.
like, dang, I could have got pulled in, and then that thing could have pulled me into that mirror. And I
Yeah,
always think
and you
like,
could have
where
just
would I
ended
gone?
up. Yeah, you would have ended up on a milk carton. People be wondering where you are, and but
mm-hmm.
got pulled into a mirror. Man, wow, it's crazy.
I
Yeah,
know,
and then
right?
those same apartments too. I remember my mom used to tell me that I used to talk to somebody in my room. She
Oh,
said that you used to play with a little girl. She said you used to play with a little girl, and you would play house with her. And I was like, she said that she just thought it was my imagination, but she said that whatever it was always trying to leap me into the closet or underneath the bed.
Hmm.
that is just scary right there.
Yeah, she
Yeah,
said she
yeah,
would get mad at me because she's like, "What are you doing? Like why is the closet doors closed?" And then I'm because in my room I had closet doors. My mom didn't have closet doors. Me and
Mhm.
my brother had closet doors though, which was kind of weird.
Yeah.
yeah. That
Wow.
just uh, brings up a whole different can of worms too. Your typical monster under the bed, or there's a monster in the closet. It kind of makes me wonder if there are portals or entrance underneath the bed or stuff like that. It's really
Yeah.
strange, but it almost
Mhm.
where like fantasy meets reality type deal. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's
why.
because
creepy.
I
Yeah.
believe like now, like I believe
Mhm.
my own kid, you know what I mean? Like my own children, like if they see something, I do
Yes.
I do my
Yes.
prayers and stuff because
Mm,
my little one's he's 4. He's 4 years old and he looks in our closet all the time and he points at something and he laughs in the air at something and he's always focused in that area. And I'm like, what are you seeing? And then it got so bad to like one day, like um he just out of the blue he started crying. He
Mm.
screamed and he was crying and he was looking at that area.
Wow.
that's a weird thing too because uh, my brother, when his son was a boy, he used to point at the closet door in the apartment and globe and say there's a monster in there until we all of us seen something run out of that room and down the stairs. So
Yeah.
something
Mhm.
something it's this closet underneath the bed type deal.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
it's
hate, I hate what one thing I don't like too is that when you feel like that tension of you feel like somebody's staring at you
mm,
and then something's there.
Yeah. You
And
can't see it. You can feel
yes,
it.
I hate that feeling because I know
you know,
something's there
We
watching.
got we
And I
got
can't even because
15.
I have long
Oh.
hair and my hair like it
Oh, it's
flings
not
off
good.
of the bed sometimes and I always get scared. So I have to like put my hair or wrap it around, because I get scared of like What if somebody's trying to like trim my hair, or from underneath the bed, or
Yeah.
and I'm so scared till this day, you guys, that I have to have my feet curled up when I sleep because I've been so traumatized with what happened,
Yeah. I have an aunt that's an EMT on the Navajo Nation. She said every now and then when she's taking a quick nap in her unit, that's a ghost would always brush her hair and would try to like do a braid in her hair, and she would
What?
just let it happen. She'd be like, "Oh, not this again." Oh well. She would let them play with their hair. You know.
No.
Yeah. We got
But
less
I
than
always get
15.
scared.
We got
I get
less than
scared of stuff
15
like that.
minutes left. Could you get into your grandma story if you don't mind?
Um, you think we should do that one another time? Because that one's a long one.
Ooh, okay. We'll do
Yeah,
part
Because I
two
even
on
have
that
better.
her,
one.
I
Even
have
better.
her on
Mhm.
two different stories. So I
Oh,
have her
okay.
in Winslow, and I also have her in the reservation.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah,
And
go ahead and you can
she
go on your next.
she
But yeah.
moves. I'll tell you a little details about her, but um she would, what do you call that? I want to say portals, but she can move one place to another
Fast.
fast.
Hmm.
Yeah. Like with we don't know how she's doing that. We don't know we don't know how she's doing that. I've even heard stories from her from my brother's friend, because my brother's friend, he was trying to invite him over to my grandma's house because we all, at the time we loved her. We love her. I still love her to this day, but I just won't be around her no more because of so much what I seen when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I never looked at it like that when I was younger because you're a kid, you see things, you just brush it off. And
Innocent.
there's a lot of things now I realize, and I'm like, oh yeah, I can't have you around my kids, I can't have you around my family, because of these situations that she kind of like what I've been put in, with her.
Yeah.
She raised me too. She raised me, my brother, and my three cousins. And it was my cousin Cheney, which is no longer here no more, and which is my other cousin, her sister, and were the main ones that were there. And then her other sister, her stepsister, that was there too. But she would always come over because she was raised by her grandmother. So
All right.
yeah, that's mostly talking about that. She is um yeah,
Interesting person.
she's
Very interesting person.
everybody would always call her a witch, you guys, and I always wondered why. I would always hear people don't want to be friends with her, people don't want to be around her. Um, I always thought that was funny to me because I'm like, why do they always call you a witch? And then she would just laugh about it. She would never say, "Oh no, I'm not," but she
Just
would just laugh
laugh.
about it. She would laugh about it. And then
Hmm.
with my brother's best friend, when he was trying to invite him over to her house, he introduced himself, to her by the door. She was introducing herself. And then he's like, oh, okay. He's like, all right, Marco, I'm not gonna, he's like, I gotta go. I gotta go. And my brother's like, he had like a straight face on him, you know what I mean? Like he's scared. Like he's seen a ghost.
Yeah.
And he said that he's like, I don't know. But he's very traditional. He's very traditional. And he told my brother, he's like, oh, dude, I don't want to go over there. He's like, why? He's like, why? He's like, it's just my grandma. He's like, well, he's like, she might have been your grandma at one time. She's not your grandma no more.
Wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
ever since
Yeah.
then, we never looked at it like that, but now I do. Now I see why. I see why people tell her why she's what she is. And yeah, that's it's kind of a long story. But like
It's a
I
good
said, I have a
story.
lot of stories about her because um like I said, she raised me. She raised
Yeah.
me.
Okay. Yeah. Definitely. We'll do
Hmm.
part two on that one if you don't mind. If you
Yeah,
don't
I do
mind.
not mind.
Okay. But you can carry on with your life story.
No. But did you guys have any questions you guys want to ask me?
Darren.
Um, yeah. Why do you think all this happened to you? Why is this? Do you think it was brought on by your
I kind of
grandmother
think,
or?
yeah, yeah, I think that too. I think that's part of it. I feel like, you know how like some families and some movies, like scary movies, they say like it's kind of like a curse in your family,
Mm,
like it
yeah,
goes
Yeah,
on to
that's
generation, the next generation.
yeah.
yeah. The
Generational curse.
last yeah, the last interview that we did too. She she brought on that she was kind of gifted bloodline. That's why I kind of asked you like if this is another situation um, like hers that she was able to see and
Fairy.
experience a lot. Yeah,
Yeah,
experience a
yeah,
lot more.
yeah.
So might be bloodline. You know, bloodline
Yeah,
thing.
I think it is. It's to do a
Hmm.
lot with her. Definitely a lot with her. It does conclude with the bloodline too, because you know how like they say if you're okay. I'm gonna tell you guys this one thing. My grandma, I do not know how old she is. My
Oh yeah.
Mm,
grandma, my grandma's, she won't tell us how old she is. She would never tell nobody how old she is.
mm,
Um, her sister, she has a sister. Her sister's like the nice one. So I always looked at her as the good witch, you know what I mean?
mm,
Uh,
And the only reason why I say that is because her sister does all good deeds, like she does good deeds, you know what I mean? She like takes care of us in the good ways.
uh,
Um, that one
tell
doesn't.
me,
wow.
are they twins by chance?
Um,
No.
no, I wouldn't say they're twins.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say they're twins, but they are sisters. She's the one. She wouldn't even tell us how old she is either. She wouldn't tell us
Hmm.
how old she is. She wouldn't tell us how old her sister was. But
No.
I always considered her the good person. You know what I mean? Because I felt
Mm.
good vibes around her when I'm around her.
Also, is this on your mother's side, or your father's
My
family?
father's side.
Father, uh, is your mother's side like your father's? Any like
No,
gifted?
no.
No.
My mom's side. My grandma on that side, she's like really good. She's the one. She goes by her traditional ways.
Mm,
They do know of her though. They do know of my grandma, the witch grandma. They do know her. Um, they just call her loony. You know what I mean? They just think that she's crazy. Um,
Hmm.
mm.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's
Interesting.
pretty cool. Real quick here, we got TG right here. Little people like to befriend small children. They like to establish comfort until the child is eventually taken. Main reason children are taken is because of their size. They go in and out of our reality. Oh, interesting right here. It says fear is the path to the dark side. Is that Yoda? That sounds like Yoda right
Mm,
there. See, I live kind of close to the Amish and Mennonite people. Also, I'm very curious and fascinated about all that they also don't talk about. Oh, yeah. Wonder if they know anything strange like that. And especially like, I wonder if our elders have any. I know, like with all these creatures, the fairies and all that, they already know about that, and they would put them all under that title Elele, like mystical,
yeah,
magical beings. Elele, they said they're magic people. That's where they are. Leave them alone.
mm.
yeah,
But
Yeah,
mhm,
it, it kind of makes you wonder if the ancestors or the older people, if they lived, they had to live hand in hand with these beings. So it makes you wonder if they were able just if it was just a common thing back in the day. Like, hey, look, there's a little person, or let's
yeah,
go
like
trade with the little people.
it's like
Yeah,
normal reality, huh?
yeah,
yeah,
just normal reality, or like, hey, we need some help finding this, or
yeah,
do you know where this could be? Yeah,
Hmm.
it really makes you wonder if how close the bond was. Even with
Hmm.
this Bigfoot, they have Native Americans that were so close to them, and they had to, something happened, and they had to divide, separate.
Yeah.
It kind of makes you wonder uh, all about these mystical stuff. even
Yeah.
fairies. I would have never, I would have never thought, Navajo would see a fairy. Because it's like it's a cross the seas type deal. But
Yeah.
obviously, there's something going on. There's underground world. There's fantasy land.
Hmm.
It's strange. It's really strange.
Yeah.
I
And it's
think this one's at you, Vanessa. Exceptional content. Many thanks for letting us have a peek through your veil of creepy experience from
Yeah.
TG. Yep.
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Even the
Thank you for your time. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
no,
go ahead,
and
Darren.
I love to get my stories out. Like I said, I never talked about this stuff. Like I just barely started talking about this stuff, even on my page. Like, um, I was like, who would believe me? You know what I mean? Because when you're a little girl, you see all these things, and then especially till now this day, like I still experience stuff, and
Yeah.
especially paranormal stuff. Like, and that's why you always have to, even if you have anybody come into your home, even if you don't know them, you always got to make sure you bless your home, because you don't know what
Hmm.
kind of evil spirit or because believe it or not, out there in the world, we don't see things, spirit wise. All these spirits could be walking around this earth and we don't see them, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
anything can be latched onto whoever, you know what I mean, good or
Hmm.
Yep.
bad.
Yep.
So
They
Uh,
carry them. Yeah, they carry them. Especially like when someone has too much alcohol, they go up the stairs and they're heavier. Bah, bah. They're carrying more stuff with them.
yeah, you're just an easy target pretty much.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
that's what they tell people, don't drink or anything. And
Spirits.
it's
Yeah.
crazy, is because like when I was younger, when I was like probably like high school, like when I was drinking and stuff, when I used to party and stuff, I remember I look back on my pictures, you guys, because my friends be posting like our old pictures, like when we were back in the day. Tell me why
Mm.
my eyes would be white.
hmm.
And then not just
Mm.
that, a lot of my other pictures would be all weird, like the facial, like it looked blurry, and it was just
Wow.
on my face,
Dun,
and
dun,
everybody was
dun.
still. Yeah, and then I was and then I think about it now, I'm like, dang, it was probably easy access to go through somebody,
Mhm.
Hmm.
you're an easy target to go through.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have a few more minutes here. Vanessa, would you like to share anything else you want to say to our listeners out there?
Yeah. Um, like, what do you mean?
Like
I was like, wait, before I get into
like
another story.
no, no,
I can't get into
just
another
like
story.
your
We only got like a couple minutes.
just like
Yeah,
your thoughts or anything you want to
yeah.
give out to.
I'm just glad you guys are all listening. Thank you. I'm glad somebody's like just hearing me out, because it feels good
Mhm.
just to like let other people know what I experience.
Right?
And
Yep.
it's crazy. Like I said, like fairies, little people, Bigfoot. I've
Hmm.
been through it, like I swear, and I'm still going through it till this day. Like I can't be afraid of what I see though, So I
Yeah.
was always told that. So I've always faced, now I always face whatever comes toward me. Um so especially with Bigfoot, if I ever seen him again, I guarantee I would turn my vehicle around just to see if I can, see everything. But try to take out my phone, even though if I'm shaking or whatever, like, hey, I seen it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just thank you for like sharing this with me too, you guys. Look, and for
Mhm.
your friend to actually introduce me to you guys, it's awesome.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
most definitely, most definitely. This is a great show, guys. Thank you, Vanessa, for
Mhm.
sharing your experiences.
Yes.
Well,
Thank you.
you
Thank you.
guys, this is the end of the road for this week, and I'm gonna kick you guys off. Don't leave yet, okay? Well, gonna be closing out the show and say later, guys.
Later. Peace.
All right. Okay. See you guys. All right. Yeah, that was Vanessa Pierson. Some very, very cool stories. I hope you guys enjoyed it, like how much we enjoy giving you guys all this content and stories. Yeah, thank you for tuning into Don't Whistle at Night. We've been broadcasting live here on the United Public Radio Network, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. You guys have a great day. Thanks for listening.